Hey, it's Jeff. Welcome back to the Long Suffering channel. Today we're going to go over what was a chaotic weekend in New York sports, especially for my three teams, the Mets, Jets, and Rangers, who actually played on the same day at almost the same time, meaningful, important games. I don't know if that's ever happened before. I know they've played maybe two regular season and a preseason game before, but never three meaningful, important games on the same day at almost the same time. What a crazy sports weekend this has been here in the New York area. We'll start with the Rangers. Saturday night, I was at their home opener against the Utah Hockey Club. I've been to every home opener since 1992. That wasn't canceled by a work stoppage or a pandemic. It's an incredible streak, and I was there in 1995 actually when they raised the Stanley Cup banner, which was an incredible night. So it's always fun to go back to the Garden. Rangers did not play well. They got a point, an overtime loss, but defensively they were non-existent. And on the same day, a story broke that Igor Shesterkin turned down a contract to make him the highest paid goalie in NHL history. He did not have his best night. You really have to wonder how that contract is going to weigh on him throughout the season. On to Sunday, where the Mets started their National League Championship Series against the Dodgers. And as I expected, they got their teeth kicked in. They lost 9-0. You had to wonder if there was going to be a bit of a downer after that emotional Phillies series. And I think there was. We've seen the Mets in prior series get out of the gate slowly and then have like a big late inning rally to win a game, but it didn't happen. Their offense was non-existent. Kodai Senga was terrible, and the Dodgers won going away, setting up what was Game 2 yesterday as the Mets started the trifecta of relevant sports games for my teams. They started at 4 o'clock, and Francisco Lindor once again leads off the game with a home run, breaks the Dodgers' scoreless inning streak. I mean, the guy has really just put this team on his shoulders. He has been everything that you want out of a leader. I was very critical of him. I was very down on him. I thought he was ridiculously overrated, ridiculously overpaid. But this season, and this in specific the last month or so, he has been everything that you want out of your leader and best player. Mark Vientos, a grand slam. He is emerging. He is flourishing into a superstar right in front of our eyes. And you knew the Dodgers would get back into the game. You knew it wasn't going to be easy. And, of course, Edwin Diaz had to make us sweat in the ninth inning. He gives up a leadoff single, and then he walks Ohtani. How do you walk Ohtani? It doesn't matter if you throw him a 40-mile-an-hour fastball and he hits it into the Pacific Ocean. You can't walk him. But he did. And then in typical Edwin Diaz fashion, he strikes out the side. Strikes out Mookie Betts. Strike out Teoscar Hernandez. Strikes out Freddie Freeman. Looking as dominant as ever. This guy is like bipolar. I mean, 1 second he can't find the plate. The next second, he's untouchable. The Mets even the series at 1. They'll be back at Citi Field tomorrow, games 3, 4, and 5, in what should be really cold weather. Curious to see how that impacts the Southern California Dodgers. The Mets are used to this kind of weather. They play in this weather, both in April and May, and then towards the end of the season. So you have to wonder how the cold will affect the Dodgers, if at all. The Mets must win at least 2 of these 3 games. In a perfect world, you'd want them to win all 3, but they won't. But if you can win 2 of these 3 and go back to LA up 3-2, only needing to win 1 of the 2 games, you have to like their chances. Alonso needs to pick it up. Where have you heard that before? His miraculous home run in Milwaukee is it's way off in the past. He needs to get going. You can't just have Lindor and Vientos carry you. You need other players to step up. Francisco Alvarez is lost, both offensively and defensively. I have no idea why he still plays every game. He stinks. He can't catch the damn ball. He can't hit. He's really hurting this team offensively and defensively. And I know the backup Torrens isn't much better, but he's got to be better than this. Alvarez is just terrible. And Tyrone Taylor continues to get big hits. And Brandon Nimmo, now we're learning that he has this plantar fasciitis thing. Why is he playing the outfield? If he's struggling to run, you got to make him your DH. Put Winker in the outfield, or put Bader in center, move Taylor to left field. You can't have him. And you want his bat in the lineup, but you can't have him patrolling the outfield when he's limping out there. Especially with the freezing cold weather coming now with these next 3 games at Citi Field. If this persists, he has to be your DH. You can't risk having a gimpy guy playing the outfield. But, today's an off day. We're set. Tomorrow we'll get back into baseball. And we have to finish this video with the Jets. And by the way, I'm wearing my Jets, Mets, Rangers sweatshirt. My wife got this for me several years ago. It's so comfortable. One of the best gifts she ever got for me. Love this shirt. Love this hoodie. Wear it all the time in hoodie weather. But the Jets did it to us again last night in a game that was very winnable against a wounded Buffalo team that did not play well. The Jets, once again, found a way to lose. And word came this morning that they completed a trade for Davante Adams. And now, of course, Jet fans are back to, here we go. This is it. Davante's going to be the missing piece of the puzzle. Let me tell you why the Jets never win. I'm going to make it very simple. And this applies to my other teams too, but with the Jets are always chasing that shiny little golden object you might see somewhere. Oh, what is that? Is that valuable? I don't know what that is. The Jets, instead of trying to build a team with a strong foundation, try to bring in a collection of big name marquee players. Now, they were starting to do it right by trading away Sam Darnold, trading away Jamal Adams, building up lots of draft picks, and they were hitting on a lot of these draft picks. They were finding diamonds in the rough like Quincy Williams and Bryce Huff. They were building the team the right way through the draft with a solid foundation. Now they decided we're going to abandon that plan and we're going to go all in on Aaron Rodgers. We're going to bring in Rodgers. We're going to bring in all of his buddies. We're going to bring in his offensive coordinator, Nathaniel Hackett, even though he's clearly an atrocious coach. We're going to basically give Rodgers, who's now 40, going to be 41 years old, the keys to the kingdom. And we're going to just hope Rodgers can wave a magic wand and carry this team to victory. And it's blowing up in their faces. Saleh was fired, which I was all for, which was the right move. But last night, you wouldn't even have known they made a coaching change because the same silly, stupid mistakes kept happening. And yes, the officiating in the NFL is the worst of any sport. And all sports, it's bad, it's a problem. But the NFL, it's worse. Because on every single play, you can, in theory, call a penalty on somebody. And these refs, they call what they feel like calling. They call what they think that they see. Both of the roughing the passer calls, one on Rodgers and one on Allen, were both bogus. The holding call on Joe Tippmann that nullified the Breece Hall first down on the ill-fated final drive, bogus. And I think there was a pass interference call on the Bills that was bogus when the defender held Garrett Wilson. I didn't think that was a penalty. I thought that was good defense. I just want to say what the NFL should do is, if they're not going to address this horrific officiating, what the NFL needs to do is each official needs to have 2 flags, one for the road team, one for the home team. And if the home team commits the penalty, they get their color flag. The road team commits a penalty, they get their color flag. So at least you know which team the call is on. Because when the flag comes, we don't know who it's on. And we can't cheer a good play because we don't know who it's on. If the Jets offensively make a good play and the flag comes, who is it on? Is it on us? We don't know. At least if you know the color The road team has this color, the home team has that color. At least you know, okay, it's not on us, it's on them. The play's going to stand, or vice versa. Now, that makes too much sense, so the NFL won't do it. The NFL is not addressing this officiating, which is ruining these games. And the Jets didn't lose last night because of officiating. The officiating was bad against both teams. Both teams, I believe, had 10 or 11 penalties each. It was bad. It was atrocious. It was horrific. Throw in whatever adjective you want. But that's not why the Jets lost. Jets lost because they had receivers dropping balls. They had defense who can't tackle. They had Garrett Wilson who couldn't hold on to that touchdown in the end zone. He took a big hit. Man, you got to hold on to them. The ball was right in the breadbasket. Too many dumb penalties. Another delay of game on Rodgers. Another false start on an offensive lineman at home, which should never happen because you know the snap count. But once again, it happened. 2 missed field goals by Greg Zuerlein, both doinks off the uprights. This is why the Jets lose. They don't build a foundation. They don't have that rock solid bedrock that you build on top of to build a winning team. They just try to throw players together and hope that they figure it out. If any of you think Davante Adams is really going to be a panacea and come in here and turn the Jets into a winning team, you're out of your mind. It doesn't work that way, not in the NFL. It may work in basketball, which is a star-driven league. But in the NFL, you need to have a great team. Because on every play, all 11 players on each side of the ball have their job, have their role that they need to do. And if they don't do their job, the play isn't going to work. It doesn't matter how great your quarterback is, how great your running back is, how great. If all 11 guys aren't doing their job, the play isn't going to work. They had a screen yesterday, I believe, for Breece Hall, who was out in the open, and then Tyron Smith just misses his block, just misses him. And Hall was tackled for like a 4-yard gain, which could have been a monster gain if Tyron Smith had simply made the block that he was supposed to make. The end of the fourth quarter, when Rodgers threw that bomb to Mike Williams, who was open, and then apparently he ran the wrong way. Williams was wide open. 3 Bills defenders ran towards Allen Lazard, leaving Williams wide open. And then he falls, he loses his balance. Rodgers says he made the wrong turn. He should have went this way instead of that way. That's why they don't win. They have a collection of players that don't play as a team. And trading another premium draft pick for Davante Adams isn't going to solve that. It's going to make it worse. We saw this in the Rex Ryan years when they brought in Santonio Holmes, and they brought in Jason Taylor, and they brought in LaDainian Tomlinson, they brought in Michael Vick, and they brought in Antonio Cromartie, all these big-name players. They brought back Darrelle Revis. You can't win that way. You just can't. And it's what all my teams seem to do. They seem to just throw big names together on a team and hope that they figure it out. We saw with the Mets a couple of years ago when they had Max Scherzer. They traded signed Justin Verlander, right? Some other big names. And what happened? It was a flop. This year, the Mets went the other direction, where they got rid of a lot of the big names, and they went with guys like Tyrone Taylor and Harrison Bader and Jose Iglesias and all these scrappy guys that are just trying to win, and they're winning. So I am completely down. I think they're going to get their teeth kicked in Sunday night in Pittsburgh. What does Pittsburgh do well? They run the ball, and they play great defense. The Jets can't stop the run, and this Jet offense cannot move the ball against a good defense. Just look at the Denver game from 2 weeks ago. I think they're going to probably lose somewhere like 27-3 in that score range. And then they'll be 2-5. And if they lose to New England after that and they're 2-6, what does Woody Johnson do then? You already did the nuclear option. You got rid of the coach. You trade for Davante Adams. And you're still not winning, which I don't think they're going to win. I don't bet on sports, but if I did, I would put a lot of money on Pittsburgh, man. They're 4-2. They're playing well. Russell Wilson's going to start, and as long as Pittsburgh commits to the run, knowing that the Jets can't stop the run, and as long as T.J. Watt and that defense gets after Rodgers, which I'm sure they will, they're going to be in his face all night long. And I think it's going to be very ugly. And it'll probably be over by halftime. And I unfortunately, and I hope to God I'm wrong, but I think this Jets season is lost. And I think after this season, Woody will probably just clean house. New GM, new coach. Rodgers will probably retire. Not good for the Jets. Mets, looking good. Got to take 2 of these next 3. Rangers, obviously, the season just started. They're 2-0-1. Panarin looks great. Kreider looks good. Lafreniere looks good. I don't think they played a great game last night, but as is usually the case with them, they're great players, do great things, and they find a way to win. Obviously, just 3 games into the season, that marathon isn't even close to being done. So right now, it's about the Mets and the Jets, and we'll be watching tomorrow night, at a frigid City Field. Luis Severino will be on the mound. Huge game. You got to get 2 of these next 3. You'd prefer that they win tomorrow so that they only have to split the next 2, but this is going to be hard. Dodgers are a great team, veteran team, championship experience, and the Jets are just going to continue to spiral. Unfortunately, I don't see any other way around that. I think this is going to be a really difficult next few weeks for them, because then after the Patriots, you have the Houston Texans, who are looking pretty damn good. And then by the time the Jets play Miami, Tua will probably be back in the lineup. They don't play Miami again until I believe December. Indianapolis isn't going to be easy. None of these games are going to be easy. I mean, maybe Jacksonville, but again, they probably look at the Jets and think, hey, we have a chance to get healthy now, because we're playing the stinking Jets. Well, that's it. That's my weekend recap, my Columbus Day weekend recap. Hope you guys are doing well out there, and see you soon.